So this is a very long story, but I'll try to make it short. So me, Mary, Ryan are in this class together. And so the first day of class, we had to basically go around in a circle and describe ourselves, right? So we're describing ourselves, da da da. Ryan and I, being the loudest one, stood out, and our teacher kind of called us out on it. And Mary was pretty much on the same boat too. She described how she hated birds and whatnot. Then this guy in the class went, and he described how he liked dancing. Now tell me why the three of us was like, this guy right here. So this guy right here has been on our hit list, if you will, our hit list to basically figure out if this guy is gay or not. So after class, this guy staggers. Like, he goes ahead of us, but he staggers, and me, Mary, Ryan, Teresa, we're talking about how, like, did y'all see that guy? You know, he's really cute, da 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 da. And then he suddenly joins our group and says, what's up, you know? And we were all surprised. We were like, what the hell? And so Mary, being Mary, introduces herself and is just like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hi, my name is Joaquin. Out of the cuts, dude. Like, I came out of the cuts and I was tripping. I was like, he's acting cute, da da da. He's gay, da da da. And like, Mary's like, nah, he's straight, da da da. Next time, it's a once a week class. Next time we see him, like, we were talking about how, you know, we're gonna try to get it. You know, we're gonna try to, you know, see who he gives the more attention to. So this is our little game, right? And so after class, we figured he was gonna stagger, and little did you know, he did. We were just walking, and you know, he comes up to me this time instead of Mary, and he's like, hey, so what's up? And me being stupid, I didn't know what to say. I was like, so did you get that movie? Like, did you get it? And he was all, yeah, I got it. I was like, oh, dumbass, such a dumbass. There's this part where we usually part ways or whatever, and so we parted ways, and he goes, I'll see y'all later, I'll see y'all next week. I was like, alright, peace. I don't say peace usually, but I said peace. I didn't even look at him when I said it. I was So we were tripping because, you know, he was you know, trying to befriend us, and we're like, yeah, let's invite him to be in our group or whatever. And recently, the last class that we had, this is where stakes were high, because me, Mary, was like, you know what, we're even, we both got points, let's see who he you know favors this week, because obviously last week was me, the week before that was Mary, so you know, 1 for 1. Oh, it's Thursday and it's time for our class, and I was like rushing to get to class, right? And I called Mary, where you at? And she was like, I'm at the cafeteria or whatever. Where you at? I was like, oh, I'm headed to class right now. And she was like, are you gonna stop by where I'm at? And I'm like, no. And she's all, oh hell no, you running to class, right? And I was like, yeah. I clicked the phone, I'm like running, right? And then I'm running through the student center, and then Ryan sees me, and then he's all, Jar, wait. I was like, no, I gotta run because Mary's trying to beat me to class. And then I ended up stopping. I was like, oh, man, Ryan, she's gonna beat me. So we're walking in class, we get there, and like, there's already a lot of people in the class. So we're like, fuck, where do we sit? So Ryan ends up like sitting in front, right? And I was like, no, I wanna sit in the back. So I sit in the back, and I was like, oh, hell no. He's sitting next to the guy. I was like, fuck you little shit. Mary comes in, and I was like, oh, man, I was resting for nothing. She wasn't even in the class. So she comes in, and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna sit in front. I was like, no. So I ended up following her. So we sit in the class, and then and we sit in class, and he's like in front of us kind of, and me and Mary were like just chopping it up and like being all silly, and then we see Ryan trying to converse with this motherfucker like it ain't nothing. He is just like chopping up a storm during class, like laughing and everything. I mean mug him like, oh no you didn't, no you motherfucking didn't. And then Mary was like, and I was like, oh hell no. And she was like, no, we about to get it. It's time for groups, right? And we were like, oh fuck, we're hella far away, we're not gonna be in his group. We end up being in his group anyway, because we was like, Ryan, let us be in your group. And then me and Mary was trying to fight over the chair and where the chair was gonna be at, because there was a spot where the guy was sitting, and we was like trying to fight for it, and we were just like, no, I'm gonna sit next to him. No, I'm gonna sit next. Whatever. Mary sits next to him. Whatever. So we're in a group discussion. We're trying to, you know, have this discussion about this book we all didn't read. Ryan's trying to be all goody two-shoes, while me on the other hand is trying to get to know this motherfucker. So we're chopping up a storm. He's like explaining how, like, you know, he's new to this campus. Mary's chopping it up with him. She was like telling him like, oh yeah, you know, there's this club event tonight and all this stuff, you should go. This guy was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll think about it. Can I get your number? What? that's Mary. And then I started laughing, and in my head I was like, you motherfucker got his number. I looked at Ryan, I was like, Ryan, motherfucker won this round. She got his number. Oh, fuck you. And so we just started chopping up a storm, and then Mary and that guy was just like all up on it. I was just over it by this point. I was like, whatever. So I was angry after class, and I didn't give a fuck if he was staggering, because I was like, nah, whatever, you straight. Because, you know, you gave Mary your number, so whatever. So we was walking, and then before we separate like we usually do, he was like, hey Mary, I'm gonna call you up, I'm gonna hit you up later to see what's up, right? After that, I was like, you motherfucker is straight. Okay, you know what? Whatever, Mary. You can go have him. And so Mary was like, no, it's not fun, you know, when you're right, it's not fun when no one's competing with you or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know. So after class, we're at Mary's place, and we're just discussing all this stuff, and, you know, if he's gay or not, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And we're searching through MySpace, like where his MySpace was, right? We end up finding his MySpace, and we was like, damn, because he had his shirt off or whatever. We're like, damn. So I looked through his MySpace, and I'm like, oh fuck, this motherfucker is straight, because he has like this poem about a girl and whatever. So we looked through his pictures. We were like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And then he has this suspect picture with this guy that, like, he's right here and he's smiling, he's hella cheesy, and this guy is looking towards him, and we're just like, suspect. We're like, what? So we keep on looking on his MySpace, and then we look at this section, you know, the little like about me kind of section, like that says like how your height and like your ethnicity or whatever. And we're like looking at it, and it says swinger, and we're like, what? And then it says Buddhist and all this stuff, and what's missing? Ryan pointed out that, you know, it doesn't say his sexual orientation. Usually people have to do that manually to not have that on there. So we were like, okay. And so later that night, Mary gets a phone call, and I was like, oh shit, it's him. And then she was like, no, it's not. Turns out it was him. And so basically he calls Mary telling her that, you know, he can't make it out, this and that. And then she hangs up the phone. And then I was like, oh hell no. That's hella sweet. Usually people don't do that, you know, just to call up a person to tell them that, you know, you're not going. But like he did. So it was like, oh, okay, brownie points. Whatever. It's just funny. This whole ordeal that we have, and this Thursday we'll see what's up. Let's see if he, you know, hangs out with us and whatnot. But it's just funny. The things that we go through to figure if somebody is gay or not, you know. I understand these labels that we have, you know, aren't good to put on people, but, you know, it's just something human nature that we need to put a label, I guess, on somebody, because, you know, we like names on people, I guess. I don't know.